Hey everyone, welcome to Wisdom of Experience. Think about life like this big journey we're all on. A lot of us picture the later chapters unfolding real smooth, maybe like a peaceful sunset. But let's be real, sometimes the road ahead gets unexpectedly bumpy, right? That idea that just letting time pass will lead to a happy old age? Well, that often leaves us totally unprepared for what getting older is actually like. But what if I told you that aging well isn't about luck, but about steering your own ship with real effort, smart choices, and a bit of hard-earned wisdom? Here at Wisdom of Experience, we believe getting older can be fulfilling, but it asks something of us. We gotta be intentional. Today, I want to share a story woven from experience, not just mine, but the kind of collective wisdom picked up along the way. We're going to dive into 12 key lessons, like signposts on this journey, to help you craft later years filled not just with time, but with joy and meaning. And definitely stick around till the end, cause the last piece of advice might just completely change how you think about getting older. 1. Make your health a priority. Your health is your most valuable asset, and taking good care of it as you get older is crucial. Regular checkups, eating a balanced diet, and getting enough rest are all part of staying healthy. Taking proactive steps to manage your physical and mental well-being helps make sure you can enjoy life without being held back by chronic illnesses or health problems. Dr. Deepak Chopra, the well-known doctor and writer, has been a long-time advocate for staying healthy through a balanced lifestyle that includes eating mindfully, getting regular exercise, and practicing meditation. Chopra's focus on the connection between the mind and body shows how health isn't just about physical fitness, but about taking care of both your body and your mind. I've seen firsthand how neglecting your health can lead to a lot of problems that could have been prevented. A former coworker of mine didn't really take regular checkups seriously, and by the time health issues came up, they were much harder to deal with. But making your health a priority early on can prevent a lot of complications and really contribute to a fulfilling life as you get older. Okay, taking care of your body is huge, but it's only half the picture, right? Just as important is looking after what's going on upstairs. 2. Prioritize your mental health and emotional well-being. As we get older, taking care of our mental and emotional health is just as important as taking care of our physical health. It's not uncommon for older folks to experience loneliness, depression, or anxiety, often made worse by life changes like retirement or losing loved ones. Prioritizing mental health by doing things that bring you happiness, joy, and connection is vital for a fulfilling old age. The author Maya Angelou, who lived to be 86, spent a lot of her later years talking about how important mental and emotional well-being is. Her wisdom on living a life with dignity and embracing self-love is an inspiration to all of us. She often spoke about the importance of being mentally resilient and finding peace during tough times, emphasizing that emotional health is just as important as physical health. In my own life, I've really come to understand how important it is to take care of my emotional well-being. Simple things, like practicing mindfulness or keeping a gratitude journal, have helped me feel more grounded and connected. Making sure our mental health stays a priority as we get older is key to keeping our spirits up and enjoying the journey of life. What are some simple things you do to keep your spirits up or manage stress as life changes? Share your tips in the comments below, we could all use some ideas. And one powerful way to boost both your physical and mental health is something we all know we should do, but sometimes struggle with. 3. Stay physically active. Being physically active is so important for staying strong, keeping flexible, and making sure you can keep enjoying life. It doesn't matter if you're going for walks, doing some gardening, or hitting a yoga class. Just moving your body is key to staying sharp both mentally and physically. Getting older doesn't have to mean slowing down, it's about finding ways to keep moving that work for your body and your lifestyle. Think about Jack LaLanne, the fitness guru often called the godfather of fitness. He kept up a really intense exercise routine well into his 90s. His commitment to staying active throughout his whole life not only kept him healthy but also inspired tons of other people to live healthier lives. A really good friend of mine started taking a walk every morning in her late 60s. It started out as just a small thing, but over time, she got so much more energy and felt physically stronger. Staying active has seriously improved her quality of life, and it's inspired me to make daily movement a priority in my own routine. So getting your body moving is key. But aging well also means taking a second look at some of those habits that might have been fun back in the day, but don't serve us so well anymore. 4. Watch the booze and skip the late-night parties, mostly. Getting older means we gotta be a bit more mindful about how we live. Those habits we had in our younger days, like staying out all night or drinking a lot, might not be doing us any favors anymore. These things can really take a toll on our physical health, making us tired, foggy-headed, and even leading to long-term health problems. Instead, we can focus on enjoying life in ways that actually nourish our bodies and our spirits. You know Frank Sinatra, the legendary singer? He was known for loving a good party and a few drinks when he was younger. But as he got older, he definitely felt the effects on his health. In his later years, Sinatra made an effort to slow down, realizing that keeping things in moderation was key to staying vibrant. I've noticed that a lot of people in their later years really struggle with the consequences of some not-so-great lifestyle choices they made earlier in life. A former coworker of mine, who's now in her 70s, has always lived a pretty balanced life. She enjoys a glass of wine with dinner, but rarely has more than that, and it's really contributed to her great health and energy. For example, I once saw a friend cut back on her drinking habits as she grew older. It wasn't easy, but it allowed her to maintain her energy and avoid health issues, something that benefits anyone, regardless of fame. Finding that middle ground lets us enjoy the good things in life, without totally sacrificing our well-being. Have you found yourself cutting back on anything as you've gotten older, maybe something you used to enjoy more freely? Was it tough, or did you find surprising benefits? Let me know your experience down below. Making these mindful choices about lifestyle is really about holding on to your own reins, which brings us to another crucial point. 5. Stay independent as much as you can. As we age, it's easy to feel like we need to rely on others more. But holding on to your independence, both physically and emotionally, is super important for keeping your dignity and confidence up. Being independent isn't just about doing everything yourself. It's about knowing when to ask for help and when to take the reins of your own life. It's about continuing to make decisions that line up with what you believe in and keeping that sense of purpose going. Think about the amazing writer and activist Maya Angelou. Even though she faced a lot of tough times in her life, she kept living independently well into her 80s. She took a lot of pride in managing her own affairs and making decisions that fit with her personal mission, even as she got older. Her ability to keep working and be self-reliant in her later years really showed her strength and resilience. I once met this incredible 70-year-old woman who handled all her own finances, cooked her own meals, and just managed her day-to-day life all by herself. Even with the challenges that come with aging, she showed me that being independent isn't just about what your body can do, it's about your mental and emotional toughness. Living independently gives you not just confidence, but also the freedom to live life exactly the way you want to. Feeling independent is empowering, and a big part of that, especially as we get older, involves having your financial house in order. 6. Manage your finances wisely. Having financial security as you get older isn't just about having a ton of money. It's about making sure you have enough to live comfortably and without constant worry. Planning for the future by putting together a solid financial strategy can really protect you from unexpected money troubles. By budgeting carefully and saving smart, you can have peace of mind and avoid the stress that comes with not knowing where your money's coming from. You know Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's right-hand man? He's famous for his really disciplined way of handling money. In his later years, Munger has emphasized how important financial security is and how valuable it is to plan ahead, saying it's never too early to start managing your money wisely. I once helped an older relative set up a simple budget, and take a look at her savings, and it brought her so much peace of mind. It's easy to put off thinking about financial planning, but it's become really clear to me how much it can reduce stress and give you a sense of security in your later years. Consider setting aside a small amount of savings every month, no matter how little, to ensure you have a financial cushion for unexpected expenses. The key is to start early, because every small contribution makes a big difference later in life. Speaking of managing money wisely, there's one specific money situation that can get really tricky, especially with people you care about. 7. Don't lend money to friends. Lending money to friends might seem like the nice thing to do, but trust me on this one. It can often lead to some serious awkwardness and even full-blown fights. While you might want to help someone out who's in a bind, the truth is, money can mess with even the strongest friendships. A loan can create expectations that might not get met, and that can lead to some pretty bad feelings like resentment or guilt on both sides. Plus, lending money can actually mess with your own financial security, which becomes super important as you get older. You know Warren Buffett, the legendary investor? He once gave some pretty solid advice about lending money to friends. He said you should never lend money you can't afford to just flat out lose, especially to friends, because it can really damage both your wallet and your relationship. He pointed out that sometimes the best way to help isn't with cash. Sometimes just offering some good advice or emotional support is way more valuable. I've learned that offering a listening ear, some good advice, or pointing someone in the direction of helpful resources can often be just as good, if not better, than handing over money. Real friends will appreciate that you're willing to help without putting your own well-being at risk. Over the years, I've seen some friendships really go south because of unpaid loans, and it's just reinforced my belief that setting clear financial boundaries is key to keeping both your independence and your friendships intact. Bottom line, keeping your independence, whether it's about your money or your feelings, is about staying true to what matters to you, and not just getting through the day, but also making your own choices. This one can be controversial. What's your take on lending money to friends or family? Have you had good or bad experiences? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Navigating money and friendships can be tough, which really highlights how important it is to cultivate the right kinds of connections in our lives. 8. Build meaningful relationships, and let go of toxic ones. As we get older, the importance of strong, meaningful relationships becomes even clearer. While friendships and connections can bring so much joy, it's important to remember that not all relationships are meant to last forever, and that's okay. Sometimes, as we get older, we need to let go of toxic relationships to make room for positive ones that lift our spirits and contribute to our well-being. Think about the story of the late actor Robin Williams. He was loved by so many for his incredible talent and charm. But he also struggled with some really deep personal issues, including depression. Despite his success, a lot of us can relate to the challenges of balancing our public image with our private struggles. Robin Williams' story reminds us that having genuine, supportive relationships where we can really be ourselves and show our vulnerabilities is priceless. I've found that as I've gotten older, it's become easier to see who really adds value to my life. It's not always about how many friends you have, but the quality of those friendships that makes a real difference in your emotional well-being. Cherish the people who lift you up, and don't be afraid to let go of those who bring negativity or drain your energy. While strong relationships nourish our souls, keeping our minds active and engaged is just as vital for a vibrant later life. 9. Keep learning and growing. A common misconception is that learning stops once we retire or hit a certain age. But the truth is, our ability to learn and grow doesn't just disappear as we get older. In fact, keeping our minds engaged by exploring new interests, hobbies, or even going back to school can really contribute to a fulfilling life. Whether it's learning a new language, picking up painting, or diving into a different field of study, growth is a lifelong journey. Think about David Attenborough, the famous British naturalist. He didn't even start his career in wildlife documentaries until later in life. His passion for nature and his commitment to learning about the world led him to become a global icon in his 90s. His story proves that it's never too late to start a new adventure or challenge yourself to explore new things. I've experienced this in my own life. After a certain age, I decided to take up photography as a hobby, and it's opened up a whole new way of seeing the world. The great thing about learning is that it not only keeps your mind sharp, but also brings excitement and joy, no matter how old you are. Are you learning anything new right now, or is there something you've always wanted to try? Share it below, maybe you'll inspire someone else. Keeping that curiosity alive is fantastic, but what about looking back? Sometimes, our past can hold us back if we don't deal with. 10. Let go of regrets and embrace forgiveness. As we look back on our lives, it's pretty common to have some regrets. Maybe missed opportunities, mistakes we made, or conflicts that never got resolved. But holding on to these regrets can be a real burden if we don't let them go. Embracing forgiveness, both for others and for ourselves, is essential for living a peaceful and fulfilling life as we get older. One of the most powerful examples of forgiveness is Nelson Mandela. After spending 27 long years in prison, Mandela chose forgiveness over bitterness. His ability to forgive his captors and move towards reconciliation, instead of revenge, was key to the peaceful transition from apartheid in South Africa. Mandela's decision to let go of hatred and embrace healing wasn't just a political move. It was a personal choice that impacted millions. From my own experiences, I've seen how holding on to old grudges or regrets can really steal a person's joy in the present. Letting go of those heavy burdens doesn't mean you forget the past. It means choosing to move forward with peace in your heart. Learning to forgive others, and sometimes ourselves, is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves as we age. Letting go of regrets is a huge step towards peace. And that peace often comes hand in hand with accepting the natural flow of. 11. Make peace with the passage of time. As we get older, it's natural to feel the passing of time more intensely. We might wonder about the things we still haven't done, the people we've lost, or the goals we haven't reached yet. But learning to make peace with the passage of time and accepting that life is temporary can bring a real sense of peace and clarity. Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, was deeply aware of how quickly time goes by. In his famous commencement speech at Stanford University, Jobs talked about how he learned to embrace death and use it as a motivator to live a life that was true to his passions. Jobs' reflection on time reminds us that it's not about how long we live, but how fully we live that really matters. I often think about how precious time is as I get older. There's a certain wisdom that comes with knowing that time is limited, and it encourages me to focus on what's truly important. This understanding pushes me to appreciate every moment, whether it's spending time with people I love or just enjoying the present. Making peace with time passing naturally leads us to think about life's ultimate horizon, something many of us avoid, but maybe shouldn't. 12. Get ready for the inevitable. Death is a natural part of life, and while it's something a lot of us are afraid of, it's important to prepare for it in a way that brings peace. Getting ready for the end involves thinking about your life, making peace with past relationships, and making sure you've lived as fully as you can. It's about finding closure and making sure the legacy you leave behind is one of love, wisdom, and connection. The late Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, famously talked about embracing the idea of death in his 2005 commencement speech at Stanford. He shared that being aware of death shaped his decisions and motivated him to live authentically. His acceptance of mortality, while not easy, allowed him to live with a sense of purpose and urgency, making sure his work and legacy were meaningful. I've had a lot of talks with older relatives who have reflected on their lives. One thing that comes up a lot is how important it is to make peace with others and let go of old grudges. It's made me realize how crucial it is to live in the present and nurture our relationships, because time is something we can never get back. Although contemplating death isn't always easy, it gives us a unique opportunity to reflect on our lives and find peace in knowing that we've lived fully. It's about leaving behind love and wisdom that lasts beyond us. This is a deep one. How do you approach thinking about mortality or legacy? Does contemplating it change how you live day to day? Feel free to share your reflections if you're comfortable. And so, our little exploration wraps up for today. We've walked through these 12 signposts together, sharing stories and insights. Remember, the story of getting older isn't some unavoidable script about decline. It's a story we get to write ourselves. It's about tending the soil of our lives with good health, nurturing the roots of meaningful connections, managing our resources wisely, and making peace with the seasons of time. Getting older, my friends, isn't about reaching the end. It's about gaining a richer viewpoint, a deeper understanding. It's the chance to weave the threads of life's lessons into the fabric of a life lived on purpose. Here at Wisdom of Experience, we believe this journey is precious. So, take care of those relationships that lift you up, keep your mind curious and your body moving, and greet each sunrise with gratitude and purpose. The road ahead isn't something to dread. It's an unfolding landscape waiting to be explored with an open heart. Life keeps going, and with every year that passes, the story gets richer, the wisdom deeper. Getting older is simply the next chapter, a beautiful evolution. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope these thoughts inspire you to embrace your own journey with grace and guts. If this resonated with you, please think about sharing it, and join our community here at Wisdom of Experience for more shared stories. Until next time, stay well, stay thoughtful, and stay present in the unfolding story of your life.